Alright. SCP-1301, the singing violin. If an instrument is playing, if you use an instrument to play music, isn't it technically already singing? Because it's creating a harmonic sound if you play it well. Like, I imagine if you play instrument shittily, very shitty, that's the equivalent of you singing really horribly. And if you play the instrument really well, that's the equivalent of you singing pretty well. So, is an instrument technically a singer? So, I almost imagine it's a violin that you just play, and then the moment you play, it sings like an actual human being. Just do like mama on the way down, and when you go back up, ooh, didn't mean to make you cry. Like depending on your speed and how far you pull down. So if you really want somebody to do the really long like the Dream On scream at the end, you have to get a really long stick just to like just pull it all the way down. One more save. Oh, but there is an experiment log. Okay, -1 and -2 are to be kept inside a secure soundproof box inside of a secure soundproof chamber. Absolute silence is to be maintained at all times. Within the holding chamber, and personnel will not be permitted entry into the chamber without the provided noise containment suits. Prior authorization is required to enter either SCP. Any personnel or individuals that are contaminated by -1 in its active state are to be immediately contained for study, owing to -1's effects. There's no reaction. I think we're good. -1 is a violin of crimson hue lacking a maker's label or the obvious sign of identification. Upon analysis, it has been found that its strings are made of spider silk, and that its body is composed of a variety of different woods, primarily spruce and maple. Spider silk. Damn, that's some fancy silk. That's some fancy strings. You actually touch the string, it like sticks to it, and the next thing you know, you're like, I can't get rid of this violin stuck on my hand. And then suddenly the violin just like becomes alive. It's like actually a huge spider. -2 is a violin bow constructed from. That's what it was, a bow. Not, I know I called it a stick before, but I'm no musician. I don't know the terms. Constructed from Pernambuco wood of a crimson hue identical to -1. Its ribbon is comprised of black coarse horsehair, but in all other regards it appears to be of usual construction. A lot of animal parts and very special type of woods, huh? -1 is extremely sensitive to certain kinds of vibrations. If jostled violently or exposed to human voices, it will enter its active state and its strings will sound audibly for 1 to 13 minutes unless otherwise muffled. Direct exposure to the sound produced during the object's active state will invariably result in contamination. Okay, so you that's why it needs to be in complete silence, because even if you just walk into a room and just say hi, this thing will be like, well, you activated me. Hi is my trigger word. SCP-1301. Everything's your trigger word. Even the things I'm saying right now is your trigger word. Touché. Well, this place is contaminated now. God damn it. Over the 13 hours following initial exposure, individuals contaminated by -1 will permanently lose their voices and be rendered incapable of speech, singing, or whispering. An additional effect of contamination is the loss of written language. While contaminated individuals appear to readily understand written and spoken words, their own attempts to write will instead result in musical notation of varying sophistication. providing contaminated individuals with computers or other writing aids as only restored incomprehensible gibberish. Ooh. What about sign language? Would sign language be also in the same regard as this? Who we will never know, unless it says here. Unless in the experiment log it explains that. While held, -2 protects the individual holding it from -1 active state. Oh, the protective bow, of course, naturally. Just like how for a sea bear you have to just draw a circle, though it does not reverse the state effects. Oh, so okay, if multiple people hold onto it, does it protect all the people holding onto it, or does it just protect the first person that held onto it? If -2 is used to produce vibrations from one or more of -1 strings, a voice singing the appropriate pitch will emerge instead. The E and A strings produce a timbre resembling female voice, and the D and G strings produce a timbre that mirrors male voice, though exceptions have been noted to occur outside of the object's anomalous state. I'm just curious now, like, because like the bow it's not very long. I think it's like, I would say 3/4 of my arm, maybe. Is it like this long, the bow? So a bunch of 6 people could probably grab onto it at best, if it allows all of them to be protected. It might just decide to be like, no, the first one who touches me gets the privilege of being protected by such a noble being as I. But who knows? Also, what if you what if one of the strings gets like plucked? Does that count as protection? Because then if you just have all the strings plucked out, and you just hold on to that, while being operated with -2, -1 may enter its anomalous state and produce any one of a number of atypical effects, which have thus far included weeping, crying, screaming, laughing, and unintelligible whispering. Oh, don't we love that? The object's anomalous state never exceeds 13 seconds in length. Now let's see what the experiment log has to say. Only 3 experiments. Okay. Approved by O5. Selected test below. 2000. Operator. After donning the provided noise containment suit, Mr. entered the chamber, removed -1 and -2 from the soundproof box, and began operation. Simple improvisation in A major 4/4 meter. I'm pretty sure for musicians that means something. For me, it doesn't mean anything right now. 1 minute and 3 seconds into the operation, -1 entered its first observed anomalous state and produced high-pitched screaming for 1.4 seconds at a frequency exceeding hertz. That's a 4-digit number. That's fucking loud. I'm pretty sure that's loud. Approximately 0.6 seconds after the anomalous state commenced, Mr. dropped -1, -2 in surprise, causing it to abruptly enter its active state upon contact with the ground. Vibration successfully pierced Mr. noise containment suit. After contamination, Mr. was taken for further study. Despite mistreatment by Mr. -1 and -2 were unharmed. Oh boy. I mean, of course he's gonna drop the thing. Like, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you like just play an instrument and then 1 minute in it just goes, ah! You'd be like, Jesus! Of course you gonna drop that. You probably never gonna touch any instrument ever again afterwards. Test 7. Oh, that was test 1. This was test 7. This is test 7, excuse me. 2000. Operator. After donning the provided noise containment suit, Mrs. entered the chamber, removed -1 and -2 from the soundproof box, and began operation. The violin solo from SCP-012's first movement. Okay, well, it's been a while. That's the wrong thing. Here we go. 012, a bad composition. Man. It's an unfinished piece of sheet music to a Mongol gopher that compels people to use their blood to attempt it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God. This was such a long time ago. To think that I started reading SCPs in 2020. Damn. During Operation by Miss SCP-1301 rendered a piece in a shrill, unsteady cackle, emitting harmonizing frequency below Hertz. The object produced intelligible speech during operation, including references to data expunged. The information provided might bear relevance to SCP. Miss ceased operation of -1 with -2 at 46 seconds, gingerly replaced both objects into the box, and immediately fled from the chamber in a state of hysteria. Miss was subsequently administered a Class A amnestic and has since demonstrated no significant psychological scarring. Which instrument do you guys think would be the creepiest to hear a voice coming out of it? I feel like most instruments where you blow into would be the least creepy. A violin, yeah. I mean, there's a hole in the violin, right? Like, no, wait, no, there isn't. That's only in guitars, right? Wait, hold on. Yeah, they don't have a hole. Never mind. I'm trying to think which instrument would be like the weirdest. I guess. Nah, drums would also be fine. Like, yeah, I think any string instrument would be just confusing. And any like instrument where you blow into would be like, yeah, that's like, it's still weird. Still weird. Don't get me wrong. Hearing a voice from any instrument is still gonna be weird. But I feel like with any instrument where you have to blow, it's like less weird than an instrument that has strings. Okay, well, test 9, 2000, operator. After donning the provided noise containment suit, Mr. entered the chamber, removed -1, -2 from the soundproof box, and began operation. Scrap of notation from Mr. written following the events of test 1. -1 rendered the notation as intelligible speech in Mr. voice. Transcript follows. Please get me. Oh God, why can't I write? And that's it. That's the singing violin. Not a lot of singing happening with that violin, to be honest with you, but still definitely a discomforting thing to think about. The idea of like, oh God, why is this so itchy right now? That's just, a violin talking to you or laughing. I think anything that laughs that shouldn't be able to laugh is weird. Like, for example, Henry right here. If he could laugh right now out of nowhere, I'd be creeped out. I don't care how much I love you. You would not be in my house anymore. I'm gonna do exactly the same thing everybody did in The Conjuring or Annabelle, like where the dolls just like was creepy and they're just like let me throw the doll away just for the doll to be in front of my door again. Henry would do the same thing. I would just be like, let me throw Henry away, and I go back up to my apartment and then I hear a knocking sound and I open up and it's just Henry just there by the door like, you think you can get rid of me? Be like, oh no, it's too late. I'm cursed.